The dining hall was a much more pleasant place than it was in the morning. Yasumizu was a place full of decent people who readily accepted the idea that they wouldn't have to kill anyone today. The same applied to the wolves, or so I thought, but they didn't look so good.
面白そうな学問だな。もうゼミには入ってるのかい?
Oh my god. Yudai Chiemi friendship. Go!
君吉さん。一度ラサでたまたま出会った日本人が大学の先生で、そんなお名前だったような。
あ、その人ですよ。専門がシナチベット語族なんで、たびたび向こうに行ってるみたいです。
なるほど。世界は狭いね。
橋本さんや先生にとってはですよ。
Another reason was Hashimoto-san. Once he stopped being silent, he turned out to be extremely sociable and understanding. The dining hall would fall silent every now and then, so he walked around and talked to people, bolstering morale and seeming naturally suited to the role. He wasn't exactly a jokester, but everyone who talked to him seemed to be having fun. He'd even got a faint smile out of Haru-chan. I wasn't jealous or anything.
Of Haru-chan?
No, I think he's jealous that Yudai gets along so well with everybody.
Oh, well, yeah, it's because Yudai is a good person. Yeah. Unlike you, Haruaki.
I did wonder why Chiemi hadn't told me much about her specialty.
Because you didn't ask. You were too busy making I want to have sex with you jokes, but they weren't actually jokes. Jesus.
Why doesn't she tell me anything? It's almost like I have to make eye contact instead of stare at her boobs.
I know.
And honestly, I had no right to be jealous. I'd already used my looping to get together with two women. You didn't really get... You
didn't really get together with them. You kissed a zombie and brought a ring to compose to a lady.
He kissed Rikako too. Right before he left.
Did he kiss her or just hug her?
No, he kissed her.
Oh, okay.
No, doing what I did back then seemed the best thing to do in those situations. And...
Yeah, let's just,
Putting Haru-chan aside for a moment, both Chiemi and Rikako-san were really charming. Chiemi was a bit unhinged at her core, but Mitsuji wasn't all that different. Mitsuji is...
The girlfriend who we are assuming dumped him for being a fucking creep. Okay. Yes.
Rikako-san was fun, and her two-faced nature was kind of attractive to me. But, well, I really wasn't in a position to think about what came after the mist cleared.
Haruaki-sama to ohanashi shitai.
あ、すみません。ちょっとこっちが立て込んでて。
すみません。失礼しました。
I was making dinner with Kaori-san. I'd invited her to do it so we would be well fed and ready for tomorrow. Of course, this was to distract her from reality. I didn't want her unpleasant nature to take over and make her throw in acidite into the food, so I took it upon myself to cut the veggies. As I worked, I watched what was going on at the dining hall. I could see most of their faces from the counter. Last time, the first day was relatively peaceful, but this day was even more relaxed. Tai-san's incessant prayers and Kanzo-san's continual state of high alert made it a bit uncomfortable, but that was it. One reason for the good atmosphere was the fact that no one had died yet, so it was still possible that it was just some sort of sick joke. Another reason was the presence of the one who died all the previous times, Hashimoto-san. He was a master at helping everyone lighten up. I could even include Mamiya-san as a reason. Hashimoto-san was alive, and she wasn't a wolf this time, so she wasn't hysterical like in the previous loop. Though she was writing something with a troubled frown on her face.
キューちゃんは取材のまとめかい？
記事にするかはわからないから、今のところはノーで。ただ、興味深いことは興味深いですね。
オカルト？
ええ。あまり日本的じゃないなと思いまして、ここの話。
ほう、それはちょっと興味あるな。
Ooh, how will this conversation go with Yudai involved?
続けても大丈夫です。村の伝説に、私なんかが講釈をして、不快だったりしません？
どうかな。私は普通に興味ありますけど。
俺は別に興味ね
え。でも、まあ暇だし。
りっちゃんは？一応こういうの担当でしょ？
いえ。シンジは身車家の役です。でも。
I can't. She talks way too slow.
She talks so fucking slow.
Things were going just like they had last time.
Kemco, I love you, but please shut up.
Everyone was interested in what she had to say, and she revealed her knowledge about god slaying and servant worship. Susanoo beating Orochi, Aesop's Fables, Yomotsu Okami, aka Izanami. Then Tai-san became upset, just like last time. The only difference was that I wasn't involved in the conversation.
Yeah, you're not going to bring up the badger this time.
He hasn't had a chance to because no one's actually talked about the song, I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, maybe she'll do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep, here we go.
Oh, if Haruaki doesn't point it out, Yudai absolutely will.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask about the badger.
It led to just about the same words as last time. Mami-san pointed out how the lyrics had a lot to do with the feast. She began questioning the parts she didn't understand, such as the badger, and Kyonosuke, among others, answered her. Yeah, yeah!
ムジナだけ今に残っていないのは不自然で気になるな。
The thing I had pointed out last time was now pointed out by Hashimoto-san. He and Mamiya-san continued examining the relationship between prayer to Shinai and the feast. Tai-san mentioned that the badger was a servant of the Okami-sama and that there was a statue in the Shinai shrine. She also talked about the late Gen-san's words. The badger is waiting for the Okami-sama to return.
なんだかいる気がするな。ムジナはこの中に。
He raised the same suspicion as I had.
牧島さんが前の宴に参加してたってことなら、その源さんという方も参加してた可能性が高そうだ。
You know something? I feel like I have to point out, like all of the art for each of the character, like I'm gonna call them sprites for lack of a better word, even though they're not technically sprites. It's all very well done. It's all like beautiful and proportionate and whatever. Every single male character in this game has some defined pectorals, including this beautiful man.
Yeah, no, I've noticed it too.
Like they're clinging through his shirt, and it's like, I don't think shirts work like that.
They don't. Yeah, no, they have absolutely, like, every male in this, like, if they're wearing a thinner shirt or not like a jacket over it, you absolutely just see their bulging pecs.
Yep.
なんですそれ橋本さん。推測ですよね。
On the flip side, though, most of the women are wearing, like, not baggy clothing necessarily, but they're wearing too many layers for their tits to show through.
Yeah, it's much more conservative.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, developers, nice work. A plus on the art.
Now it was time for something new. Except for that one scene where all of the werewolf evil made Chiemi's boobs grow 5 sizes that day.
Yes. But it's like... Okay, but so this thing is, like, I feel like the person who did the art for all of the characters and the person who did, like, the diorama art, I'll call it for lack of a better word, like, they're two different people. The art styles are totally different.
Oh, you mean, like, for the big, like, sort of quote-unquote cutscene thing?
Yeah, like, you know, the scene where Takumi and Kanzo punched each other out with their mountains of man muscle, and,
there was so much muscle on display.
Yeah, and, like, the image of Chiemi and Mochi being like all wolfy and shit, like the style was different.
Yeah, one of the things that's been bothering me is that Haruaki often looks very different when he shows up in those splashes rather than his sprite. I don't. It's weird. Like they make him look younger in the splashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like in that final one from last time we were playing with him staring up at the weirdly proportioned hanging Rikako.
Yeah.
Like, both Rikako and Haruaki in that image were, like, just deformed.
Yeah.
Like, the perspective was weird. The anatomy was weird. Like, whoever drew, like, okay, so, like, we're looking at Hisako right now, right? Like, she's perfectly proportionate. Like, whoever drew her had a good understanding of anatomy. And I don't think whoever drew her is the same person who drew, like, those scenes.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll look that up later.
Yeah.
今更なんですが、神内明神の神内という名の由来ってどなたかご存知ですか?
She'd been curious about this in Kami Fujiyoshi too. What of it though?
神内さんは公式には猿なし山という名らしいからね。 猿が猿に、梨が梨に置き換わったのだろう。
違いますよ、野里様。
おー。
親内様は昔から親内様。明治の時に読めんからって、お上が名前変えたと聞いてますよ。
Could they have mistranslated it?
I feel like that's possible.
つまりもともと親内だった。山脇さん、その語源については？
知りませんね。
多分、これは漢字トリックです。
漢字トリックです。
Mamiya-san ripped out a page from her notepad and put it on the table.
親内。内の漢字は大と示すでなっています。
It's time for the big show!
Big show!
She wrote down the relevant kanji.
これを組み替えると、
She then wrote down the kanji for big, then show to the right of it, and shin to the right. The result was that.
神の武士は示す編。実際に旧字は神だし、つまりこれは狼。
Oh.
Oh.
親内様イコール狼様ということじゃないでしょうか。
Huh.
Thank you for this kanji lesson.
バカなことを。
Tai-san shouted hysterically. You could hear in her voice that she was shaken up. Of course she would be. According to Yasumizu's legend, the humans in service killed the wolves, the Okami-sama. However, it reinforced my theory.
What theory? The theory that you're just gonna pull out of your ass right now.
I had
Okay,
lots
let's
of
go.
clues that led me to think that Okami and Great Lord Shinai were one and the same. His use of the corruption was one thing. Another thing was the fact that he was neutral in the battle between humans and wolves, or Yomibito and wolves. Yet another thing was the local outlook on life and death. If people went to Yomi upon death, they would go there regardless if they were hanged or killed by wolves. That was why they said rise not. It meant go to Yomi and don't return. However, in the Shinai faith, the mountain was a place where corpses were buried, so it wasn't strange for it to be considered the same as the world of the dead.
ともかく、イザナミは多くの神を生む過程で落命し、吸ったもんだの果てに根の国を支配する神となった。
根の国？
黄泉の別名よ。根の片す国とも言う。海の向こうにあるとも言うし、根の国に黄泉という場所があるとも言うけど。
Maybe I was reading into this too deeply, but Nenokuni, country of roots, gave me an image of the underground or of a tree-covered mountain.
待て待て。そりゃこじつけじゃねえのか？第一、狼を隠す必要なんてどこにある？
Incidentally, I believe that kanji and the one that showed up right now is the same as that's used for the video game Okami with Amaterasu. Yeah.
Maybe they did. Okay, yeah.
あるいは信仰を隠す必要があったとか。
信仰を隠す。
Oh, Tai is gonna be real upset.
例えば、狼様を大っぴらに信仰できないような状況があって、その信仰を隠す必要があるとき、別の信仰の形をとって信仰を守る。例えば、江戸期のキリシタン禁止下におけるマリア観音とかね。
Oh!
それに、
I didn't know that. Is that real? That's so cool.
Yeah.
またよくあるわ。
Maria Canon. I love it.
Yeah.
衝突を恐れずに言うと、伝説や神話はよそからの拝借だけじゃなく、政治的な要因も強く影響して変遷していくの。
I was wondering about this because, yeah, so much of like lore and myths is passed down through spoken word. Things change. It is literally the world's longest game of telephone. People add their own flourish onto things. People misremember things. There's so much that can change through oral history.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if this is going to be the case, and the fact that this is coming up now, this is fascinating.
This is some good shit.
古代、神話と政治は強固に結びついていたからこそ、政治のあり方が変わるときは、神話も形を変えなきゃならなかった。 集落の合体によってそれぞれが報じていた神様が結婚したり、戦争で併合された側の神様が子分や魔物に変えられたり、
Yeah, oh my god, this is so good!
あるいはかつて別々だった神様を同じ存在だってことにしたりね。そうやって力関係の辻褄を合わせたわけ。
Yeah, like so many folk heroes and gods and stuff like that were just either changed or completely co-opted from other regions and religions and shit. It's literally this is how entire like pantheons are born. Everyone was just fucking role playing with stories.
強力な神や悪魔ほど異象や変化、化身がたくさんあるのはそのため。忘れられた信仰がいくつもそこに融合されているの。
Yeah, all of these gods are just their fucking Japanese OCs with their random... It's like, hey, here's my Dragon Ball Z OC. He's got Super Saiyan 7. And then that's an entire religion now.
Yep. Don't question it.
Don't question it. My original character, don't steal.
だから、多少の矛盾があるのは当然よ。だから、もちろん真実はわからないけど、これで信内モーデの歌を読み解くと、だいぶ意味が変わってきそう。何しろ、歌には狼とお守りの対立関係が書かれてない。
That was true.
例えば、狼イコール信内さんは、未だに4つ、いや、5つのお守りと友好的かつ絶対的な主従関係にあり、怪しい読み人と人間に吹き込み、加護を与えることで相争わせているとかかしら。
Oh shit. She went that far with this audience?
すみません。
Oh god, look at Ty. Yeah.
そこまでおっしゃられると。
I mean, yeah, it completely recontextualizes your faith into basically you were convinced of a war that you didn't need to fight.
Yep.
そうよ。よう知りもせんと。
I think she knows a lot more than you. You guys didn't even know the origin of Shinai.
Yeah, or anything about the Badger.
It's like learning Satan was the hero all along.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, Rikako-san and Tai-san had something to say about that.
これはすみません。僕らとしては、伝説や神話に信憑性があると思ってるから、
hopefully.
こうしていろいろ伺ってるのです。でなきゃ、そもそもこんなことに参加してもいないし、外に出るだの、警察に訴えるだの、騒いでいるでしょ
う。私がその役してますね、今。
芹沢さんは半信半疑ってところかな。実のところ今ここに完全に疑ってる人はいないと思いますよ。ただ、ムジナは伝説から抜け落ちかけていた。伝説も宴のルールも同じく口伝によって伝えられています。
You know, part of me is like, if we just shut up and let the game go, it'll tell us all of the stuff we say. Like, he's just kind of reciting everything that we just said like 5 minutes ago.
But we're just so excited to come to these conclusions.
I know. It's some good shit.
Which, you know, that's a testament of the good writing. You know, it's like they say, you know, if they guess the twist early, don't change it to fuck with them. It just means that they're paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
It's basically the highest compliment you can pay a writer.
Yeah, when you can call out something or someone has followed the logical train of thought before you get there, it means that you conveyed your things, everything that you're trying to do properly.
You're doing it right.
ただ話はそんなに難しくはないと思うんですよ。織部安永くんだったかな。
あ、はい。
僕らはさっき。人は嘘をつかないという方針を打ち出したけども、もし人であるにもかかわらず、狼に組みするもの。
Oh, I'm so glad he's here stirring this shit and making things harder for Haruaki.
様のために嘘をつくか、 あるいは
I
暴
mean,
れたり
honestly,
とかす
I
る
have
と
to
思うん
say,
だが、
props to the writers for
どう
making us
思う
hate
かな？
Haruaki so thoroughly that we're actively rooting for the other characters, even when it's
Yeah.
against Haruaki's best interest.
Yes.
そうですね。ムジナがどうとかがなくても、そのケースは危惧するべき。でも、
嘘つきや暴れた奴は、たとえ人でも狼の味方。だから問答無用でくくればいい。そういうこったろ。
Yoshitsuka-kun, who'd been sitting at the corner of the room and staring at a wall in boredom, suddenly spoke up. I think he was listening, he was just pretending like he wasn't. He's got to maintain his tough guy act.
Yep.
He wasn't wrong in the least, which was probably intended by Hashimoto-san.
どうやら本格的に後ろめたいことはしない方が良さそうですね。
I know.
Protect this smile.
それは
Protect this good cinnamon
確か
roll.
ですね。
言われんでも、あたしたちは、これまで誠実に生きてきましたわいね。
Except for the wolves.
神内様はいつも見ておられる。
Oh boy. Yeah, she's
Well,
gonna
I
be the
mean,
hardest one to convince with all this shit.
We're about to see the wolves get compelled to do some shit they would not normally do. Although I am wondering if Kaori's maternal instinct is going to win out over whatever bullshit the wolves are trying to force her to do.
Yeah. With that, I finally understood something. Yudai Hashimoto.
Oh my god, he's had a thought.
Was the same type of person as me. No, he's so much
he's
better.
A much better person than you, Haruaki.
He controlled people.
You wish you were on his level.
And manipulated their emotions through words to put himself in an advantageous position.
No.
The difference between us was that his conscience, presence, and persuasiveness were far above mine.
No, Haruaki, the difference between you and Yudai is that Yudai is a good person. That's literally it.
He's observant and he's trying to get information. Like he's here to win this because he wants to go home to his wife and 3 daughters.
Yes, as he should.
So, yeah.
God, fucking Haruaki.
If Yudai is the final boss, I give up.
Yeah, no. Yudai deserves to win.
I know, right? And he was a human, an enemy to us wolves. Haru-chan was in a seat near Yasunaga-kun and Mochi's, not saying a word. Pretending to pick something up from the counter, I crouched down and looked at Kaori-san. With her back to everyone, she cut veggies, and though her expression wasn't as bad as before, it was still full of anguish and unease.
I honestly wonder if she would sacrifice herself for her kiddos, even if she's a wolf.
I know. I'm really interested to see how far the wolf corruption goes.
Yeah.
Time passed by as everyone chatted, ate a longer dinner than ever before, chatted a bit more, then split up. The only notable thing was the moment when Mamiya-san tried to ask Kanzo-san about the previous feast. Hashimoto-san stopped her, though.
Oh.
I noticed Haru-chan make a face, and a part of me was relieved by that. The previous feast took her parents, and it was the time she went into the mist and lived to tell the tale. It'd have been bad if she'd gone crazy again. Hashimoto-san seemed to have noticed that possibility, so he'd stopped Mamiya-san to prevent it. Was it really good to help him survive? A part of me actually believed that. Sure, without him, I'd been a human and survived the feast, but it didn't solve anything. Becoming a wolf and making an enemy out of him was just an unfortunate side effect that came with letting him live, and I just had to accept that. After dinner, right when everyone was preparing to split up, Hashimoto-san whispered something to Takumi-san. Takumi-san's expression suddenly turned serious.
みんな、ちょっといいか。
Apparently, Hashimoto-san had told him to say told him to should say something. And
told him to should say something.
今日、
Great.
俺たちは誰もくくらなかった。だから、この中に狼がいるとしても、今夜誰も殺さないことを俺は期待したい。そうすれば明日もくくらないで済む。
ありえん。
ああ、そうかもしれねえ。そうなったら、この中の誰かには明日の朝、もう会えねえことになる。これで、お別れになる。そのことは肝に銘じて、悔いのないよう、言いたいことは言っておけよ。
Yeah, so Takumi, tell Kauda you love her.
The
bright mood suddenly changed. The mood turned heavy as everyone exchanged handshakes and gave their thanks to each other. Chemi, Haru-chan, even Yoshitsugu-kun became teary-eyed as Kaori-san said these words to her sons. If I'm gone tomorrow, live strong, you two. She was a wolf, but her words were so honest that they both listened without a word. The village heads here seemed lonely, giving Tai-san and Takumi-san fuel for doubt, while Mochi talked to the old wolf guy. It was a moment when their relationships became very clear. One particularly impactful moment was when Haru-chan approached her lonely-looking grandfather. Her eyes were still red from her goodbyes to Yasunaga-kun and Mochi.
おじいちゃん、もし私が明日起きてこなかったら。
そんなことは起きん。
For a moment, it looked like he knew what she was, but then...
嘘。狼は必ず殺すって言ってたじゃん。おじいちゃんは春にだけ嘘をつく。優しくしてるつもり？
Kanzo-san didn't know how to respond, a rarity for him.
そういうのいいから聞いて。私が死んだら、私が死んでもお酒とか飲みすぎないようにしてね。
I fucking care about everyone in this town, except Haruaki.
I know, right? Except Haruaki.
Kanzo-san slowly extended his hand to her, but it was too late. Haru-chan had already turned around.
I hate that.
A grandfather and granddaughter, both awkward beyond belief. He's gonna die. He's dead. After watching their exchange, I was actually relieved that Haru-chan didn't say anything she shouldn't have, which made me question my own humanity again. Yasunaga-kun must have been in a similar state of mind the first time. Feeling sympathy for the first wolf I'd encountered, I gave Chiemi, who'd approached to give her goodbyes to me, some half-hearted nice words. I'd done the same for Rikako-san, who'd finished the exchange with a silent but resolute farewell.
昼間のことは許してあげるから。
もし明日会えなくても、わだかまりはなし、かい？
うん。
That was that with Haru-chan. The disgrace on my name was cleared, and she now neither disliked me or liked me.
時間取らせてすまねえな。それじゃあみんな、おやすみ。
Takumi-san nonchalantly concluded the event. Everyone silently began leaving the dining hall.
うさいしさんも戻ってください。
This woman needs all the hugs.
I know, right? We were done with the after-dinner cleanup, so I had no reason to stay behind. I didn't sense anyone in the mist, but that was because I just couldn't, not because there was no one there. Everyone was probably using this as a chance to have the secret talks they couldn't, or just silently listening for those. It was probably a good idea to thank him. I heard someone's voices near the stairs to the dorm. Mamiya-san was talking to Hashimoto-san, right where she died last time.
どのくらい本気です？
少なくとも僕ら以外は皆本気だと思う。ということは怪しまれたら殺されるわけだ。ジャーナリストならみんな知ってる。この世で一番怖いのは
That's awesome.
人間だ。
Yeah.
God, what a good line.
オカルト絡みでも本当に人が死んだ証拠があるのは人が殺した場合だけですからね。
すみません。
I considered eavesdropping, but it had been bad if they noticed, so I called out.
ふさしく？びっくりした。
すみません。橋本さん、昼の時はありがとうございます。
何かやったかな？
あのままだと、なし崩し的に僕が殺されていたかもしれませんから。
ああ、ははは。まあ、君が殺されたら、次は僕らってことになりそうだったしね。
確かに。でも本当、助かりました。
いやいや、君には霧が出るところをちょうど助けてもらった恩もあるし。
I'm kind of the reason you're trapped here, but
チャラにしようじゃないか。
わかりました。
Well, they would have gotten stuck either way.
出歩いたらまずいのでしょうか。夜の間に抜け出すとかは。
さっき私が言ったわ。
やめておいた方がいいね。こんなノームは僕も経験したことがない。 夜の山じゃ遭難しかね
I
ない。
love this beautiful, sensible
低い
man.
山でも危険だ。それに村の皆さんがそれを絶対的な禁忌と感じて
Oh
い
my
る以
god,
上
he's so fucking sensible.
I know, right?
彼らの方が危険かもしれない。
It's a breath of fucking fresh air.
Seriously is. This is a very worldly man.
ん？いやいや。そんなことはないと思うよ。ただ、信じる心というのは、幻を見せることも多々ある。信じる人に囲まれれば、
So what you're saying is, we're in a cult.
Yes.
努めて別のことを考えて、気を紛らわせるのが最上っていうのが、僕の経験則でね。
Those were some meaningful words.
橋本さんは伝説云々を信じてはいないんですね。
信じる信じないは考えていないよ。それは身の安全が確保されてから。
He's so practical.
I know.
ね、Q ちゃん。
どうでしょうね。記事にできそうな気はしないですけど。
僕はただ穏やかにここから離れられれば、それに越したことはないんだ。
なるほど。そうなるといいですね。
That was the end. I bid them good night and went my own way. Come on, let's get to the first death. I need to know how this is going to go.
I know, right?
I hadn't met anyone else on my way back to the prefab. Yoshitsugu-kun didn't invite me to go out at night, and neither Chiemi nor Rikako-san visited to have a talk. They were probably satisfied with the goodbyes in the dining hall. Everyone used to struggle at this time because they hadn't felt like they'd done everything they had to. This time was different, though. Everyone was calmly waiting for the wolves to strike, fully ready for it. The humans were in the perfect mental state. There was nothing for them to worry about. And it was all because of Hashimoto-san. Then there was the exchange just now.
ああ、ははは。
Ha ha
ま
ha.
あ、君が殺されたら、次は僕らってことになりそうだったしね。
Hashimoto's out to win this thing. To me, that sounded like I didn't do it for your sake.
いやいや、君には霧が出るところをちょうど助けてもらった恩もあるし、なんならこれでチャラにしようじゃないか。
And that was like, you sure helped us at a strange time, huh?
Okay, if this were any other character, I would say Haruaki is being paranoid, but
Yeah.
this is Yudai. I think he is spot on.
Yeah, he seemed reasonably suspicious of me. Was I just overthinking it?
For once, no.
No, that would be overly optimistic. It was clear to me that he made it past the first day better than anyone so far, even myself. If he was that talented, he must have already analyzed the situation and noticed that something was strange. They happened to have their tires burst, then be given rooms, and gotten caught up in the feast. It was clearly orchestrated, and I was the only one who stood out as a suspect. I'd been chosen by a village head, joined them in their van, and actively gave them a place to sleep. The situation was made even worse by the fact that they were right, and that I was a wolf. Since I couldn't mention the looping, I couldn't really say that I was their savior. Not only that, but he was the monkey. He'd secured a good role and relationship with the others, and had a surprisingly keen eye and mind. He'd have been an extremely reliable ally. I'd really appreciated it when he presented the idea that we shouldn't hang anyone today. After all, at that moment, just like Kanzo-san, I thought that not hanging anyone was foolish. Thus, I thought he was foolish too. But now, because of his idea, everyone became somewhat ready to accept someone's death, and to unify to defeat the wolves responsible. He'd also succeeded in preventing the lynching way smoother than I. I could only create a stalemate, while he actually talked to people into voting for against hanging.
Yeah.
Kanzo-san didn't want to look like he broke, so he hadn't changed his opinion, but he was still pretty accepting of the idea to not hang anyone. Hashimoto-san did it with great finesse, and it was something I couldn't do. We'd eventually find out if it was a good thing or not, or rather, they'd decide based on what we wolves did today. However, I'd already felt like I was falling behind him. Would I really have to defeat him? There was Mamiya-san too. She was way more stable and smart than last time. The way she pointed out that Shinai was probably Okami, or Great God, showed that she would be extremely useful in finding out the truth. She'd also noticed and mentioned the badger without my help. She'd probably noticed it last time too, but hadn't mentioned it because she was a wolf. This time, with Hashimoto-san's suggestion, they decided that they would hang all liars, regardless if they were wolves or the badger. That was a smart move. It kept the humans from lying just for the sake of it, and counted the badger whether it existed or not. They were a pretty balanced pair. Mamiya-san was blunt and straightforward, while Hashimoto-san gently reproved her and provided only the best solutions. They were a much better team than I had expected, and the fact that they were enemies was pretty bad for us. As a wolf, I had to consider the other humans too, especially the Oribe brothers. After all, their mother, the demon who tried to kill everyone and swallowed her last words for their sake, was a wolf this time. If I didn't go about this the right way, I would be the one to die. Haru-chan probably wouldn't want to kill Yasunaga-kun or Mochi either. Kanzo-san was her family too, but I wasn't sure about their relationship. Still, I didn't think she'd want to kill him. And finally, could I really kill Chiemi and Urikako-san? Though it was all made void by the looping, they liked me, and I liked them. Would I really whisper sweet nothings to them during the day, only to kill them at night? I didn't want to do that. That thought was my last before my consciousness faded.
Oh, we're finally here.
Oh boy. I jumped up, throwing the blanket to the side. Why was I asleep? Did I have something to do as a wolf? I could feel myself turn pale as I realized I just made a huge mistake. But the next moment I noticed something that terrified me in a whole different way. There was something next to my legs.
Ooh.
Unable to understand what was what, I let fear take control and pathetically backed away. Nothing was happening. I reached into my bag, took out a flashlight I got from the convenience store and turned it on.
What is it? What is it?
What the hell was all this? It looked like the parts of a costume.
What?
Particularly the kind used in action hero shows. No, that didn't seem right either. It was like some traditional ritual clothing. Remember, I fucking said, do you remember the fucking wolf we saw at the beginning?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you that was some weird fucking outfit?
Just a fucking costume?
Bracers, tabi, straw zori, a faded kimono, and a hakama. All of it smelled awful, like half-dried laundry being boiled. Ugh.
Okay, that's not a wolf costume. That's like regular clothes.
I know. There was something that stood out more than the rest. It was a kimono underskirt with some blurry sutra-like text on it. There was another piece of cloth with similar text on it, and it was connected to something weird. Oh! Ow! Ow!
There it is.
Oh, was this a mask? A noble Yiff!
Oh no.
Right, that thing
You
had
shall
told
wear
us
this and yiff yourself.
Yiff into the night! We were supposed to put this on and cleanse ourselves? The bad smell made me really apprehensive. Didn't they have the order wrong? Didn't cleansing come before putting on some sacred clothing? That reminded me that I hadn't cleansed myself before sleeping. Wasn't that bad? Remembering the situation, I checked the time again. The phone I charged with a battery showed that it was 10 o'clock.
Where did you get a battery?
I don't... Maybe it was in the convenience store. I don't know. Great Lord Shinai had momentarily put me to sleep to bring this thing here. What if I hadn't woken up? Man, were they treading a fine line here. That aside, I was basically being told to put this on and go outside. I gathered my resolve. Was this good enough? Though the lighting here is poor, there were fewer pierces than I thought, so I could put it on without much trouble. It was unexpectedly well designed, and from what I could tell, it was hand-sewn. The mane, did wolves even have those? Seemed to be made of rice straw. It didn't seem cheap at all, and though I couldn't be sure, it seemed to be designed to look divinely imposing. The mask seemed to be a wooden carving with insane amounts of detailed work put into it, a true masterpiece. By the time I put it on, I didn't care much about the smell. It wasn't hard to move in or anything. The inscribed cloth on the bottom was connected to the belt. I put it on like it was a traditional grass skirt, and it wasn't a big hindrance for running or anything else. The cloth connected to the mask hid the face like some kind of stagehand's clothing, and I could only see a head through the gaps between them. The wolf-like mask itself was simply resting on my forehead. And as I put it all on, I found a bucket and a ladle among the items. It was full of water, and I knew I had to cleanse myself with this. I was a bit apprehensive about this, but I took out some water and poured it on my head. It jumped off the rice straws, making my shoulders wet or spreading across the area. Was I doing it right? I was still worried, but just putting it on was meaningless, so I put my hand on the door and sensed something bad outside. It wasn't anything vague, like bloodlust or evil mojo. It was sounds I could actually hear. I heard grass being parted. I heard the sounds of something walking through the sand. Shallow breathing, low growls, distant roars full of malice. It reminded me of the time I was locked in the outhouse and I sensed something bestial outside. This was exactly the same as last time. There was something outside. Lots of them, in fact. Last time I'd only survived because I held the door shut when something was about to open it. And I had to go outside this time? I'd be okay just because I was wearing this? No way. It seems like a sick joke. Oh, but I really wanted to see it.
Oh my god.
What a familiar sensation. Just then the doorknob clattered.
妻子さん起きてるの
It's Haru.
Mm-hmm.
I still heard beasts outside, but the voice clearly belonged to a girl, Haru Makishima.
Haru-chan?
Ooh, I like the mask on her head.
Yeah.
安全なの?
Man, how many times is it now that she's told him not to call her that and he continues to do it?
Was she telling the truth? Was it really her outside? Even if it was some sort of illusion, if I didn't open, my presence in this flow of events would be pointless. I fired myself up and unlocked the door. The moment I opened the door, I saw a short wolf that scared me like hell.
うるさいな。
Haru-chan で間違いない?
そうですよ。ほら。
She moved the cloth covering her face, and sure enough, it was Haru-chan. She was clad in a wolf outfit and had the bucket and ladle in her
あなた
hands.
もそれ持たなきゃ。
これ持ち運ぶの?
うん。常に巻かないと。
She took some from her bucket and spread it behind her. This seems like a cleansing ritual.
Yeah.
Like they're Shinto priests or something.
Mm-hmm.
That action was followed by squealing sounds. I felt something squirm and run off.
Oh, is that what
that the
protects them from
corruption?
Corruption? Okay, okay.
何がいるの?
汚れの運び手。
Oh shit! So that explains why things are like when they're killed by the corruption, they're ripped apart. It's these things.
Yeah.
And
There's something supernatural happening.
Right. When Mamiya got caught by it, she probably didn't have her bucket or anything.
Yeah, or maybe... Well, I don't know what happened to the clothes. Maybe she wasn't wearing the outfit, too.
Maybe. Okay. She spread some more water. This time on me.
冷た。何すんの。
She repeated it a couple of times with great intensity to boot.
何って全然みそぎしてないじゃないですか。
そんなに全身びしょびしょにならないとまずい。
Yeah, otherwise the fucking corruption's gonna grab your nuts. As if she felt that explaining it was pointless, she just touched the cloth near her waist. Sure enough, it was completely wet.
一つ聞いていいかな?
何?
それが正しいやり方だとして、なぜそれを知ってる?
なぜかな。わかる。
何か隠してない?
隠してないですよ。
同じ狼なら隠し事は?
何が不安なの?
Those words shut
Murder
me up.
him, Haru.
気持ちはわかるけど、私はもう落ち着いたから、あなたもすぐ慣れるよ。と。
わかった。
I wasn't satisfied, but I backed down anyway.
ところでデスマス言葉、慣れてないなら普通でいいよ。
慣れ慣れしくしないでください。行きましょう。香織さん、待ってるし。
Yeah, the chasm between us was wide. Or maybe Chiemi and Rikako-san were just too easy. Apparently, Haru-chan had walked through the mist without any light. I took out my small
何
flashlight
それかっこいい。
and was met with a weird reaction.
あげるよ。一応、二つあるし。
I prepared them in case I ended up running away with someone at night. I sure as hell hadn't expected to be a wolf, though.
嘘いいの?
うん。暗いと危ない。ちなみにどうやって来たの?
安水の道なんて覚えてるし。
Made sense. It was dangerous regardless, though, so I just gave her one and showed her how to use it.
ただ、 みんなにバレないようにね。夜出歩いてるなんてバレたら大変だ。
そうですね。わかった。
She spread some water again, then put the ladle back and took the
代わり
flashlight.
に時々撒いてください。
She led me through the dark path. I could barely see anything, but I did sense something bestial in the darkness. It was clearly hostile towards us, and several of them were surrounding us from a distance. However, they didn't come any closer. They also backed away if I spread some water. The flashlight could barely make it through the mist, so it didn't help to see anything in the distance. It was pretty useless, to be honest, but Haru-chan seemed to like it. She also swung it around like a sword, or rather a lightsaber. What were these bringers of the corruption, anyway? Actual Japanese wolves, perhaps? Every now and then I saw eyes light up in the mist. Besides that, I also heard growls and the sounds of something stepping in the sand. Dogs, right? That had to be it. Yasumizu was completely full of dogs right now. That expression made it seem adorable. But, seriously? No way. If my assumption was right, this situation was way scarier than some simple supernatural phenomenon. I continued spreading water, too much of it, all the way there. What happens if we run out of water?
It's a very good question.
A wolf of the same stature as Kaori-san stood up from the chair in the dining hall. It was very surreal.
久石です。香織さんですよね。
ええ、ちょっと心配したわ。
もう着替えてて出るところだったみたい。
差し支えなかった？
ええ、なんとか。香織さんも段取りはご承知だったのですか？
ええ、どうしてか分かっていたわ。不思議だけど、あの時新内様にそう伺ってから。
あれ、3人いましたよね。新内様って3人いるんですか？
それはよくわからないけれど。
昼、記者の人が言ってたでしょ？新内様は狼様だって。だから私らは狼様から直接加護を授かったってこと。
You know, the guys that when they flash back to the three wolf silhouettes, the weird way they were talking makes me believe that like they're like some really like really living in the mountains like kind of hermits. And that they have like absolutely no ties to civilized society, because the way they were talking made it sound like they were like illiterate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like they'd been living apart from the rest of society for so long that they had had some kind of lingual shift.
Yes, exactly. Because like the way that it was translated, it didn't make it sound like they were speaking like ye old English or like any form of dialect. It seemed like they were so far up in the mountains and had so few contact with people that their entire language just did a weird shift.
Yeah.
それで君らは納得するんだ。
だって見たじゃないですか。
Right. That strange experience did actually seem supernatural. People tended to accept anything they could see.
では行きましょうか。
え、どこにです？
殺しに。
Oh. Wait, what?
香織さん、誰殺すか決めないと。
ああ、そうだったわ。つい気が流行っちゃって。
今日の宴の感じ見たら、やっぱおじいちゃんじゃないかな。
匠さんも危ないと思うわ。
待ってください。二人とも本気ですか？
何が？
肉親を殺すんだぞ。あんた、息子のことが惜しくないのか？
She twitched and tilted in an unnatural way. Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa.
知ってるわ。知ってますとも。惜しくないわけがないでしょ。でも仕方ないじゃない。新内様の言う通りにしなきゃ。
Oh God.
香織さん。
君もだ、ハルちゃん。安永君やモッチーのことを殺していいのか？
それは嫌だけど。 じゃあどうすればいいのよ。3人で逃げ出すとでも。
Just choose not to kill. That really wasn't the way to go. We'd get lost or killed by the monsters. The mist would just send me back to square one. All I could do here was pick one or the other.
Yes!
Oh, buddy.
I mean, obviously we have to do both of these to get those keys.
Yes, this is obviously going to be 17 and 18.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Massacre. Let's just go full. Let's do it. We've been waiting on Genocide Run. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
僕らは狼だ。狼は読み人を皆殺しにしなきゃならない。
結局そうでしょ。
僕はいい。あなたたちはそれでいいんだろうな。自分の大事なものが手にかかる瞬間、背中から刺したりは本当にしないんだろうな。僕はあなた方の神内明神に対する信心を疑っていません。しかし、神の一声で一切の人間性を失えるほど人でなしじゃないとも思ってる。もう一度問います。本当に殺しますが、いいんですね。
わかった。いいですよ。
She went and
で
said
は
it.
香織さんは。
ああ。わかったわ。
Oh
じゃ
God. My words were cut off. And so was my breathing. What?
私たちは
Whoa!
自分たちで自分たちを殺すべ
Okay,
きだ
I'm
った
not surprised that this is coming from Kaori.
Yeah. An intense heat or cold in my back.
そうすれば読みより落ちてあの子たちとまた会える。
When the sensation was pulled out of my body, I began to feel my life leave me.
そうすれば母として
God damn, Kaori. Takumi,
This woman
you
is
should,
intense.
Takumi, you should probably know what you're getting yourself into, bro.
I mean, she'll be fine as long as her kids aren't threatened.
I understand that she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I didn't expect it to be so bad that she'd resort to such drastic measures.
Buddy, seriously? You were there when she went nuts after
I
Yoshitsugu
know.
died.
I collapsed forward. Also, she swallowed a note to give her sons a dying message. Like, Kaori is hard fucking core.
Yeah, she is. She's the most badass character in this game. Like, hands down.
That was the last thing I heard as I choked on my own blood and breathed my last. Had I chosen the wrong way to go about it? I wonder.
Man, okay, so I have to admit, so like right after we chose Massacre, I was thinking, oh shit, this is going to be the long route. We're going to take forever to get back to the other choice.
Yeah.
But I'm real glad that that was the clearly incorrect option.
Yes,
I mean, obviously.
I'm wondering
one's not
if this
correct
is going to be a similar thing with the cop where all three were bad.
Mm-hmm.
My questions faded with my consciousness. Hariti. That's one of the gods' names, if I remember correctly.
Was it?
Hariti? I don't remember. It's definitely some sort of goddess name. I just can't remember what. All right. Yes. All right. Fine. Chart.
I love that I can hear you mashing the button over my headset.
Insane maternity.
I don't think that's insane, though. I feel like she's perfectly justified.
Yeah. All right. Kill no
Yeah,
one.
kill no one.
殺人なんてすべきじゃない。
And then Haru kills me.
殺すのは
Yeah.
やめないか。
The rule was 1 kill per night, just like with the humans. That was a limit. Basically, we couldn't kill 2 or more, but there was no rule about not killing at all. Thankfully, we had the perfect situation for that.
香織さん、しっかりするんだ。これは信
Oh
託
my
で
god,
も
he's
何でも
focused
な
on
い。
Kaori right now.
何か
Haru's
ひ
gonna
どく
do
悪
it.
質な。
Yeah, Haru's gonna stab us in the back.
それに従えばあなたは絶対に後悔する。あなたの体がそれを証明してしまっているでしょう。
Don't talk about her body, creep.
そんなに震えて、まともに喋れなくなってまで、神内明神の眷属という役割にこだわる必要はないんです。幸い、匠さんは、こちらが殺さない限り向こうも殺さないという体制を作ってくれています。僕らが殺さなければ、 殺し合いは起こらない。
Here it comes. Here it comes. Haru's been way too quiet.
Here she comes.
互いに手を出さない限りは、その間に解決策を探れるはずです。もちろん、この状況で正体を明かさずに信頼関係を維持するのはでも、息子を殺すよりは、あなたはきっと前向きに望めるんじゃないですか。
それは、そうよ。もちろんだわ。
What about you, Haru? Oh.
I did it. Yasumizu's laws weren't absolute. I just proved it. Or so I thought. Yeah, yeah! I felt a light impact on my side, and when blood started pouring out, I thought I was living out some sick joke. A moment later, my consciousness quickly began to fade, making me once again realize that death could come out of nowhere. As I collapsed on my back,
Haru.
my eyes met those of the smallish wolf, Haru-chan. You know, this game is really fucking great, like, just to kind of fuck with us a little bit, like, alright, yeah, you murder-happy fucking players. Here, genocide run? Nothing. Oh, you strictly benevolent, like, lawful good players? Yeah, let's not kill anyone. Also wrong. Fuck you.
Yep.
As I collapsed on my back, even through the cloth, I could tell they were cold, stern, and full of disgust and hatred for powerless vermin.
やっぱり、よそ者はダメだわ。
The words were even colder than the encroaching shadow of death.
山の掟は絶対だというのに。
In her hand, she had a bloody grass sickle.
香織さんは分かってるよね。
My vision soon faded
兄
completely.
ちゃんも、よし君も、私たちが楽にしてあげないといけない。
At first, I felt the taste of blood fill my mouth, but even that was gone
それ
now.
が私らの使命だって。
I couldn't feel warmth or cold
いや、
anymore.
いやよ。そんなの。
じゃあいい。死ね。
I stopped hearing whatever they were up to, and as my consciousness faded, I realized that I'd failed.
Okay, you know, I have to say, I'm not even upset at being proven wrong. Like, I figured that Haruaki would just walk all over these two, but Haru has a fucking spine of steel that I was not expecting.
Yeah, the wolves this time were just awful. I just got a trophy called Granddaughters Are Strong.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, Irrational Purge.
Oh yeah, Haru.
No, all right, let's just... Whatever, no.
No.
Never, no, I don't like...
This game is so fucking railroady. I cannot get over the fact that it includes a hint corner.
Yeah, seriously, what is the hint corner? Just keep hitting the button until you win.
Yeah. Just keep bumbling around, Roomba-san. You'll get it eventually. You have no choice.
Okay, righteousness.
Righteousness.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Trick the... Oh my god, okay.
Your immediate distaste for that final option was just like, all right, fine, we're fucking doing whatever.
Yeah, fine, whatever. We're doing it.
If I insisted on killing, the mother snapped. And if I insisted on not killing, it was the girl. That experience made it impossible for me to choose either. The locals could at least have the decency to harbor the same kind of madness. If I continued this with little tricks, it'd lead to problems in the future. I also wanted to find a scenario in which I didn't die. Thus, I decided to spend this timeline fulfilling the role of the wolf. Also, it seemed easier to create a full fanatic out of a doubter than to correct an unwavering zealot. I'll have to make Kaori-san kill her sons. For that, I needed a good story.
信じてもらえるかどうかわからないですが、
She needed a story that could match the absurd legends.
僕はね、この村を救いに来たんです。
It had to be like entertainment and seem like fiction, like something Rikako-san would like.
救いに来た?
They lended an ear to me. I had it in the bag now.
信じられないかもしれませんが、僕にはなんというか普通の人には見えないものが少しだけ見えるんです。そのせいでいろいろ面倒もありましたけどね。
Are you like fucking Spirit MacGyver or Spirit Columbo? Is that the shit you're trying to pull?
That's exactly what he's trying to pull.
じゃあ世を儚んだって話は。
嘘です。若者が死のうとしてるって話は田舎では受けるんですよ。潜入調査が必要なことが多いんでね。
You read this shit in a manga, Haruaki.
今回は上藤吉のとある方の依頼でここに来たんですけどね。
誰よ？長者？
ええ、誰か詳しくは言いませんけどね。安水という場所に昔から怪奇現象があるから調査、そこで潜入してみたら案の定誰も彼もが人ならぬものになり果てていた。彼らにはその自覚はない。この安水という場所はあの世との境界が曖昧だから、あなたたちも彼らもそれに気づかない。だけど一度霧が出たらもうおしまいだ。偽の平和は終わり、黄泉に落ちた人たちと争わなければならなくなった。それが山の神神内明神の望み、僕らが昨晩まみえた人心浪面の神の望みのようですね。
どうしてそんなことに。
The truth was less important than the ties to the real story.
元より安水はそういう場所だ。ここの食べ物を食べていればいずれ身も心も黄泉のものになる。神内明神のかつてのお守りもそうなった。かの神は霧が立つたび蘇ってくる彼らを撃退せねばならない。
それならなんでこんな回りくどいことを？
かの神がひどく弱くなっているから。
That surprised them both.
神内様が弱い？
ええ、何しろ落ちたお守りを奉ずる四長者にこの山は支配されている。彼らも真相は知らないんだろうね。自分たちの祖がすでに主神を背いて黄泉におもねっているなんて。いずれは根本的に彼らも対処しないといけないでしょう。
上藤吉もみんな読み人なの？
Yeah, sure, probably. Oh.
あくまで休みずに暮らす皆だけが読み人のようだ。あなたたちはその中で唯一の人間。いや、香織さん、あなたもともとここの人間じゃないですね。聖火のもっと北の。
This is Roomba-san bubbling his way to victory by just getting everything wrong first.
Well, no, I think he learned about this like last loop or the loop prior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's using stuff he knows from previous loops to convince them.
Yeah.
一瞬見えたんですよ。
That was a lie, but as someone experiencing these loops, I can easily simulate the supernatural phenomena of knowing things before they were told to me.
じゃあ私は？
You can auto-tune your voice. You, fuck, I don't know anything about you, you hate me.
Rightfully so.
正直言っていいか迷うな。
I was honest this time. She'd survived going to Yasumizu 8 years ago. That alone was special enough, but would she be okay to hear it? I would just buy some time.
とりあえずこれは没収ね。
I took a small, sharp grass sickle from her hand. It didn't seem like a supernatural power exactly, but I just needed to look skilled.
よそ者である僕が神内明神の掟に背くんじゃないか。もし
どうして？
荒ごとにも慣れてるからね。あと香織さんも最悪その辺の包丁で暴れてやろうかって思ってるでしょ。
そんなことないわよ。
Give me all of your weapons.
いや、あなたの心の中にはそのようなこう思う鬼面の神が潜んでいます。
What the hell was I saying? They were intently listening to me at least.
強く正しい神だが今はあなたを盲目にしている。子供たちを害したくない一心で真実から目を背けさせている。
それは
外来者である僕が信頼できない気持ちはわかりますが、僕はこの通りあなたたちの味方だ。読み人にこうするための スキルと経験もあるし、そのために最初にすべきことも分かってる。香織さん。
Yeah, he's kind of doing the gaslight gatekeep girl bossing his way to victory here. Wolf victory.
Yeah.
いやよ。あの子たちがいなければ、私の人生は何だったのよ。
今、言うべきことじゃないのは承知してますが、織部香織さん。旦那さんやその他、藤吉村に奪われたもの、失ったものの代替品でもない。
This is fucked up.
This is really fucked up.
あなた、どこまで
We say as two people who were gleefully demanding to know what happened to her husband.
Yeah.
あなたの右肩に旦那さんがいます。
Jesus Christ, Haruaki.
Oh my god.
He continues to be a piece of
よ
shit.
く似てらっしゃる。
I mean, it kind of works in the Wolf timeline.
Yeah, it does.
She began crying loudly. What a cliche act this was.
彼らは自分たちが黄泉に落ちたことも知らず、ただ自分たちの魂を汚し続けています。
God, this is some cultish shit. I
彼らの
hate this.
魂は無言の涙を流し続けている。
Yeah, just emotional manipulation bullseye. It's bad.
あなたは母親として彼らを救う義務がある。そういう風に思うことはできませんか？
Oh my god.
生きてここを出て自分の人生を歩むべきだ。
私はこれまでろくに母らしいこともしないで。
誰も責めはしません。
分かっていたわ。私が本当は自分のためにあの子たちを育てて縛り付けようとしているって。
I would much prefer actual murdering rather than just emotionally destroying this poor woman.
Yeah, she's been through so much this whole fucking game.
そばで守ってもらって安永に外に連れ出してもらいたいって私に才覚がなくてこんな
Hey, Kaori, it's okay to rely on other people.
I know, right? I looked at Haru-chan, worried she might pull something, but she just shrugged a bit. I'm ready to kill, man. I don't get this shit either.
変にお互いを意識して悩んでる。それも
Was the murder we're supposed to have tonight the murder of Kaori's like self-confidence and self-worth?
Yeah,
Because
I think we're just supposed to murder her spirit.
Because that's what we're doing.
Yep.
I had no idea that Kaori-san was hiding such weakness under her motherly strength. I had to ignore my guilt over taking advantage of it.
Do you really feel guilty though,
悪
Haruaki?
くはない。かりそめの平穏の中で安水の苦境にあえぎながら立派に成長した。
Yeah, like, can we just be like, alright, I'm depressed now. Can we maybe murder tomorrow, guys? Like, let's just call it.
I know, right?
でも、もうおしまいなんです。夢が悪夢に変わる前に終わらせないと。誰も悪くない。誰も恨めない。これはいわば世の断りに巻き込まれた災難です。
It'd be horrible if that were true, honestly. I silently hoped that my lie wouldn't become reality. I also felt that the root of all evil for her in my story were the Higuchi. They'd sent her here after all, but I kept quiet about it. Anyway, my story seemed to have captured her completely.
Anyway, I'm a complete trash human being, but that's fine.
I don't think you captured her as so much as you devastated her.
Yep.
一つだけ。
She's gonna be asked to be the one to do it when it's their turn.
なんでしょ
I had to give her something to help her gather her resolve.
どうせやるなら早くあの子たちを早く
Oh, okay.
先に楽にしてあげたいの。
That wouldn't be good for us. If we made the killings personal, someone would notice. Taking out Yasunaga-kun at the start was one thing, but following it up with Yoshitsugu-kun? Would she even stay sane with them gone?
でも香織さん。
いいじゃないですか。それで。
Haru-chan had just silently listened for most of my story, but now she'd made herself an obstacle?
香織さん、そうでなきゃ 私たちとは一緒にやれない？
I think Yasu's gonna be first.
Yeah.
私はあの子たちを楽にしてあげたい。そういうこと。そうだったんだわ。私はそうすべき。今はっきりわかった。そうしてくれないなら私は私でそのように動くわ。
らしいけど。
If Kaori-san let her emotions take over and acted independently, she'd most likely put us in a terrible situation. She'd probably prepare food with aconite, Kinosuke would notice, and she'd be hanged. There'd be of no use to us, or that'd be of no use to us. She could also use more messy methods, but no matter what they were, they'd have minimal effect. Violence needed to have perfect timing and force behind it. In that sense, Chiemi's rampage last time was perfect.
あなたが市場で息子を殺すことで、あなたは間違いなく疑われるだろう。
I don't. She's gonna say I don't care.
構わないわ。私はそれでくくられて構わない。
あなたは外に出るべきだと。
いくらあの子たちやあの人がそう願ってくれても、きっとあの子たちを手にかければ。
僕らも困る。狼が一人減れば命が3分の1削れるも同じなんです。
Eat shit, Haruaki. Your persuasion worked too well.
Yeah, I know. You fucked up. If.
あなたの死に方を僕らに任せてくれるなら、協力しましょ
う。This was awful.
ええ、構わない。
It was awful. I was awful.
You
This
are,
team
yes.
was awful.
今、
Yes, it is.
あなたの旦那さんは見えなくなりました。
あなた、ごめんなさい。
God, this poor woman.
I know. To Kaori-san, her sons were basically a replacement for her husband. What she wanted now is basically a forced group suicide along her sons. That was the compromise, the overlap between the laws of the mountain and her ego. Why were humans so hard to manipulate? Because you're not supposed to do that.
それでは、今日は安永君を。
Yeah, here we go. Yep, Yasu's done.
ええ。
はるちゃんはいいのか？
仕方ないじゃないですか。兄ちゃんは読み人なんだし。
はるちゃんは安永のことを。
お兄ちゃんとしてね。香織さんが亡きにするって決めたならわがままは言わないよ。
いい子ね。ごめんなさいね。
Everyone in Yasumizu was a good person. I wasn't, and to me, they seemed completely insane. Mamiya-san had probably felt similarly last time. That was why she died like that, and I had no intention to follow her footsteps. I decided that I would survive, and if that required me to become the best wolf, so be it.
I mean, he's an actual literal shit person, so honestly, he's the best candidate for wolf.
Right? The three of us went through the mist. The wolves parted the gray, cloudy air. It felt like I was in a plane that had flown into a cloud at night. We were careful, spreading water to keep the beasts at bay, trying not to trip or fall into the fields. Haruchan and Kaori-san were probably just being considerate of me, though. Without me, they might have gone ahead quickly and without hesitation. Not just because they were familiar with the land, but also because they seemed just about dangerous enough. They seemed fine if they decided on it. They could march straight to their grave. Oh, they seemed like I could fucking read. We were heading to the dorm. The disgusting deal with Kaori-san left us with few options to choose from, though getting rid of Yasunaga-kun wasn't a bad choice. He was extremely supportive of Hashimoto-san, so without him, the cameraman would lose some of his influence. And by shutting Hashimoto-san up, we would damage Mamiya-san too. I already knew Takumi-san and Kanzo-san's weaknesses. I had to worry about Chiemi's hidden true nature. As for Rikaku-san, honestly, I felt that if I did the same things as last time, she would side with me again. The rest weren't very influential, though. I just had to be careful that they didn't go hysterical or on a rampage. My biggest concern right now is Mochi. It seemed entirely likely that he would know who the wolves were on gut instinct alone. Wouldn't he do something weird if he found out Haru-chan was a wolf? Though right now I was merely considering the kind of people they were, not the guardians they might have had. I could only hope that they went to Mako or the old wolf guy. that have made them harder to control. Something about Takumi-san was bugging me too. He's probably the spider. He was the snake in the first one.
待って、一応注意。加護を持っている人は注意した方がいい。
I can't die yet. He was attached to Yasumizu because of Tai-san and Kaori-san, and he had his sense of responsibility as the local young leader. I mean, he could be the snake again. I mean, Mochi is the monkey again, so I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
When you consider that, him saying that he couldn't die right now didn't really make sense. That meant he had a guardian. Yasunaga-kun realized it too, so he jumped into the conversation, just like he had done for me last time. On the first loop, Takumi-san had revealed that he was the snake on the very first day. What if that was about to happen again? Mochi was a monkey back then, and he was one now too. Though everything else was different, back then the other monkey had been Mako. However, if there were some sort of rules for deciding who would get guardians, it wasn't unlikely that they would get the same ones. If he were the snake, I'd kill him and pass myself off as his guardian. We would gain a huge advantage. It was worth considering at least.
着きましたよ、房石さん。
As I thought to myself, we arrived in front of the dorm. I could see the misty moonlight accentuating the building's outline. For whatever reason, I already smelled blood. Whoa, what? Oh, it reminded me of Haru-chan and Kaori-san's brutalized bodies. That sure was terrible. Those murderers ridiculed and laughed at humanity to the fullest extent. I wanted to have my boundaries when it came to that, at least. That sentiment came to mind. And faded as soon as Kaori-san said that. She was pointing at the stairs to the dorm. There was blood all over the rusty metal stairs. What? Why? Why was this here? Whose blood was this? Did someone forget the shelter? Where was their corpse then? Visibility was as poor as ever, but I looked around for something humanoid on the ground. A few seconds later, I finally noticed that someone was standing just a few meters ahead. Is this the serial killer? I gasped, and the other wolves only noticed it a few seconds later. I quickly realized that the person there was Chiemi Serizawa.
Oh my
She
god.
had something in hand. It was a sawed-off, double-barreled shotgun. When you considered her madness, it made sense. She could totally underestimate the corruption and put herself on the line to kill all the wolves by herself. There was also worth mentioning that she had a gun, a rarity here in Japan. She stood a way better chance than Yoshitsugu Aribe, whose courage only got him torn to pieces. We were only human, and that gun could instantly kill us. I hadn't predicted this. I was off guard. Right as Haru-chan and Kaori-san squealed, she raised her arm. Honestly, I was impressed. She managed to stay unpredictable every single loop. I wouldn't have stood a chance against her if I didn't have my looping. She was a joker to me. A bloody, merciless joker. Alright, I had clearly lost this time. I had to do better next time. At that moment, her lips moved.
Oh, is Chiemi the bat shirt? No.
A flash. What I saw wasn't the Reaper, but a smile lost to a crimson explosion. At that moment, I wasn't able to do anything but stand in place, completely frozen. The two behind me shrieked and clutched my shoulders, but I ignored them. Did she blow her own head off? Chiemi had just committed suicide. With a mischievous smile, she put the sawed-off shotgun in her mouth and blown her head off from the jaw up.
Jesus.
It was insanity. This time she'd gone way beyond whatever I could imagine. What was this? What was this feeling of loss? Oh, wait. She probably knows that I'm the wolf, and she's like, there's no way we could win this round. I'm just dipping out early.
Maybe, yeah.
Was I feeling it because I wouldn't see her ever again after this loop? Was it the despair at the fact that a part of my brain was actually thinking, crap, we wasted one night's worth of murders? Or was it the fact that I would never be able to ask her what she'd said?
どういうことなの？ねえ、房石さん、知恵ねえが。
もう今日は。 人世に一人の起きて、もう殺せない。きっと彼女は加護者じゃない。自ら犠牲を買って出ることで、今日、人の側の有用な人物が殺されることを防いだ。おそらく、彼女はただの人。おそらく、自分にできる最大の貢献がこれだと判断して。
じゃあ、
安永君は、殺せません。
Alright, everybody. Go home. Good job, everybody.
そんな。
We'll try again next
仕方ない
time.
よ、香織さん。二人以上の血を流せば、あなたの望みも叶えられなくなる。
してやられましたね。乾杯です。
Or did she really? I felt like I couldn't match her in cunning no matter how hard I tried. I stayed still for a decent bit, just looking at her mobile remains within the mist. Yeah, world-class gambit, Chiemi.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do what we have to.
はい。
Yeah.
みちみち気をつけて。おやすみなさい。
We couldn't just stand here, so for now we returned to the dining hall and talked. My body was completely wet, but since I'd worn the costume for so long, I'd actually begun sweating, so taking off the mask was way too refreshing. Then, when it was time to return, Haruchan and I once again put on the mask and left the dining hall, fully equipped. There was almost no water in the bucket by this point, but honestly, since our costumes were so wet, it wasn't likely that the Bringers of Corruption would attack us.
ここまででいい。そこの坂から登ったら工事現場だから。
Haruchan said that right in front of the dorm. Her tone was as uncaring as always, but her words seemed to express some consideration.
大丈夫かい？あそこには。
知恵姉の死体。
ああ。君は苦手じゃないのか？
苦手だけど。というか、得意だったらやばいし。でも、夜だし。
So, what? I didn't get her reasoning. Though I could kind of relate to her.
じゃあ、手はず通りにね。
わかった。
ちょっとは頼りになりそうかい？
まあ、うん、そうかも。
Was that enough to ensure that all went fine from tomorrow onwards? I was worried, but I had no choice but to keep on going.
じゃあ。
I turned around. A voice from behind stopped me. I turned back at her. She was standing there, still clad in her smallish wolf outfit. Like before, I couldn't see her face. But I felt that something was off.
Oh, are we gonna get auto-tune Haru again?
Maybe. At the core of it was the fact that... Yep, here we go.
There she is.
She was laughing. Yeah, she goes. Sometimes she has these auto-tune episodes. It's totally normal and not at all suspicious in any way, shape, or form.
We also have no fucking clue what's going on with
we
it
have no
either, so...
fucking idea.
Yeah.
Was this the...
なんとも傑作。先ほどの茶番、吹き出さぬよう必死でしたぞ。そして、信内明神が弱まっておるとは、なんと痛快、なんと面白い。神をも恐れぬとは、このことよな。
お前は。
なんじゃ？得意の力とやらで、カンパなさればよろしかろう。
Oh, shit!
方便であっても、貫き通せば誠になるやもしれませぬぞ。
お前、はるちゃんなのか？それとも、なんだ、狼付きなのか？
おやおや、おやおやおや。貴様もつまらぬことを言いなさる。信内明神のやつは、あの通り、赤い霧の中に見られたであろう。
あんなものはまやかしだ。
まやかしであろうが目に見える。
Yeah, keep trying to gaslight yourself, dipshit.
I love auto-tune Haru.
見てこられたのか？この三峡にいぶく世紀をこれほど受けて、町のお方は、なお理解が及ばれぬか？
I have to say, I love the creepy music box music.
Yeah.
神というものに
God?
何度落ちて何度地獄を見れば真実にたどり着けることかの。
教えてくれ。
Throwing away my shame and honor, I grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her.
あんたは何者なんだ。僕は一体どうなってる。この現象の本質は一体何なんだ。
殿方にすがられるのは悪い気もせぬが、この娘に嫌われますぞ。
はるちゃんとは違うのか。
No, she's clearly possessed, idiot!
Fucking idiot.
ばかりも退屈なれば、一つだけお答え申そうか。神は三柱おる。
Whoa, okay.
知ってる。狼様は親子3人だって
No,
話だろ。
there's three gods like Shinai. There's like two other gods like Shinai.
分かっておられるな。神内明神など親子まとめて杵でついてこね回して
Oh!
いびつな神よ。この三強にはあと二柱。まあ一柱は取るに足らぬ死に体の神であるが、残る一柱が貴様の敵じゃ。
So, okay, one of the convenience store clerk is one of them, right? Where we
Absolutely, she has to be.
are... Okay. With that...
Is Haru the end boss?
She
Maybe.
shoved my hands away. She might be. Okay. I think the other god is Mako.
暗く長き山のよとぎに良きお方が来られたものよの。
Oh?
明晩またまみえよう。
Because she said that the other one is pretty much useless. And,
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's Mako.
That's basically Mako, yeah. And the other one is our enemy. Clearly convenience store clerk.
Yeah. The girl dashed away and disappeared into the dark mist. I didn't hear a single sound after that. Oh, fuck. God damn. Do we want to wrap it up here because we're probably going to get into the feast.
Yeah, the feast I'm sure is going to take another hour
And
at least.
I think calling it here a little early is better than searching desperately for a place to stop during what is sure to be a longer feast because Yudai's gonna fucking put us through the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. All right, so I think that
I can't wait for the fucking feast.
I know. Oh my god. Fuck. All right. God damn. I was not expecting Chiemi to just dip out like that.
I know, right?
That
what
was
a fucking badass way to go, too.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she absolutely knew, like, oh, Haruaki's the wolf? Nope. Blam!
Yeah.
Just not dealing with that shit. So, but yeah, anyway, hope everybody enjoyed what we saw tonight. I'm definitely enjoying this stint as the wolf. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Receivable, and don't forget to follow our YouTube channel for past playthroughs if you're just jumping in on this now. The earliest episodes of Raging Loop are going up. I think the first 3 are up. And we will see you next time. We'll continue this. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.